Hello, and welcome to the Diaries of Ordinary People, the podcast that brings you raw, unfiltered, and honest stories from everyday experiences. I'm your host, Ash, and each episode we dive into personal diaries and journals to uncover the heartfelt moments and challenges that connect us all. So, whether you're commuting, taking a break, or just winding down, join us as we explore real and authentic lives. This is the Diaries of Ordinary People. Hi Sam, it's nice to have you on. How are you doing?
I'm alright, yeah. I'm feeling good actually. It's been a good day actually.
Good, what have you been up to?
I worked with a new guy at work. Very easy job, a lot easier than normal, except for the first half of the day. So the second half of the day was fairly chilled actually, which is nice.
What do you do?
I've ripped out a garden.
Oh.
We broke out a path, which was quite fun actually. We thought we were going to have to use the breaker, which is really heavy and obnoxiously loud. But we didn't have to do that because the guy I was working with was quite strong and he just broke it out. And because I'm less experienced than him, I was the one that was burdened with carrying it away. So round the corner and into the skip. But that was okay.
Nice. I want to start with a really kind of odd question.
Okay.
How have the past kind of couple of years been for you?
Wow.
Say kind of 18 months, 24 months.
I'd say the last year has been amazing. The year before that, not as good. But yeah, I'd say that this year has been a lot more positive.
As in 2025 or kind of like the past 12 months?
The past 12 months from now, let's say. Yeah. If, not going by like calendar months or anything. Yeah, I think I'm probably the happiest I've ever been actually.
Why is that?
I've cut off a lot of dead wood. And I think actually turning 25, something switched in my brain and it was like, okay, you're a bit more of an adult now. Things actually weigh a little bit more, you know, your actions have a bit more of a consequence. So actually I think that's helped and that's made me grow up a little bit, which I think has actually made me happier in a way. Feel a bit more capable now, actually.
And what you said the year before hadn't been, or the past 12 months hadn't been so good. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Honestly, mate, I feel like I've lived about 10 lives. How do I even put it? I think that year was a year of lessons. And the year before that, actually. Bloody hell. But yeah, that year was a year of lessons. There was a few people that I probably should have let go of that were still kind of clinging on a little bit. And I don't know, it's not good to have people around you that bring negativity in your life. And I didn't see that as much, well I did see it, but you make exceptions for people. You know what I mean? Until you don't. And then when I don't anymore, they're gone. And yeah, I'm glad the deadwood is gone. And also, I didn't have a job, actually, now that I think about it. I had to take a year off, honestly, to try and heal from things that happened before. It's kind of hard because I feel like I didn't really have that much of a purpose. And then, well, actually a year ago, started the landscaping job. And I actually work with you on that. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's a bloody good job I started that job because, yeah, I feel so much better for it. Exercising all the time and stuff like that. Before, I was just kind of like lethargic. I sat around actually and did bird watching a lot of the time. And it's good after a while, but you're kind of sitting around with your own thoughts a lot of the time. So, yeah.
What's the most important lesson you took from that period of 12 months?
What, the bad period of 12 months?
The less good.
Yeah, okay, yeah, less good, let's feel like that. The lesson I took was know your self-worth a little bit more, definitely. And it's definitely okay to assert yourself in the right situations as long as you're not a dick about it. Also, I would say that words are extremely powerful, and learning how to use words with a bit more, this is really ironic that I can't think of the word, a bit more pizzazz, let's say, because I can't think. That's so bad. Learning to use words a bit better has helped me, and that's a big lesson, definitely. Knowing what I say to people can actually have an effect, good or bad, it's really helped me. I use that to try and lift people up. I think that's a really big lesson I took away from that. I hope.
Where do you think that came from? The you mentioned about not feeling or not necessarily asserting yourself as much as you could, or I don't know, I got the vibe of not standing up for yourself, I think. Where do you think that came from?
Yeah, there was I wouldn't have even said I was seeing her, but there was a girl. There's always a girl, right? So there was a girl and she just wasn't that nice, and actually I was a bit too attached, and she didn't treat me very well, and I should have been more assertive, but I let her kind of walk over me. She was quite manipulative, actually, now that I think back on it. So, and there was probably a few times where I should have been like, no, stop that, please. That's not very nice. I won't take that. But obviously not using those words. Yeah. And since cutting off the deadwood, like I said, that's helped me to realise that I should be more assertive. And actually I've dropped people before they've got like the chance to hurt me. I know that sounds like I'm trying to push people away, but I'm not. But what I try and mean by that is I'm realising people are negative before they actually affect me, which I think is...
Before the negativity affects you.
Exactly, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, yeah. Yeah, I think that's it, yeah.
I like that.
Thank you.
Have you always lived in Hastings?
No. I was born in Portsmouth in the year of 1999, just about, in October. So I'm technically a 99 baby, but only on paper. So I was born in Portsmouth and lived there for 6 months. And my mum, I don't know if this is the actual true story, but this is what I take away from it. My mum thought that maybe Portsmouth was a little bit too rough. So she decided to move us to Croydon, which I don't want to shit on people that live in Croydon, but I would say that it's not as...
But you're going to shit on people that live in Croydon?
Just a little bit, I don't know. I'd say Croydon's got a worse reputation. But anyway, lived there for a couple of years. Actually made some good friends down there that I don't see anymore. Haven't for a few years. But anyway, I moved down to Hastings when I was just turning 3, I think, and have been here ever since.
Oh, wow.
Actually, yeah. I've moved around a few times in Hastings. Lived in I'm trying to collect all the different zones, Silver Hill was out of the question. Yeah. I can't bother to walk up the hill. But everywhere else, yeah, I'll do.
What's your first memory in Hastings? Because you say you moved when you were about 3, right?
Wow, my first memory in Hastings. Let's think. Probably the play park in Alexandra Park, It's still there. I went there with my nephew the other day, actually. They had this wooden elephant thing. I remember being so small that I couldn't climb up on it, and I had to I can't remember who was there, I guess probably my mum. Someone to help me climb up on it. And then they also had this little shark one that was made out of wood that they don't have anymore. And I vividly remember those. I don't think I can remember anything earlier than that. No, I'm wrong. Sorry, I am wrong. I've just thought of one. In the house we lived in Quarry Road, there was only 3 steps in that house, and I just remember my mum counting them with me. Actually, 1, 2, 3 as we went down the stairs, and I think that's the earliest memory I have of Hastings. Yeah, it's quite a nice one actually.
Yeah, it's really nice. You said that you in the not so good 12 months that you were unemployed. How did you find that, given the kind of cost of living and absolute shit show of the world right now?
Well, I was actually on Universal Credit for a bit of it, and as I have no doubt probably going to touch on at some point, you'll understand that I don't really like the system, let's say. But I did go on Universal Credit, and I am grateful for it because it got me through, and also my family took me in when I had to move back home, and they didn't charge me rent, which was so nice of them, so good of them. I don't think I ever really thanked them properly for that, so I probably should. Yeah, and basically just looked after me for a year because I really needed it. Yeah, so financially, it was kind of more disappointing than a struggle. I wanted money. I wanted to be able to just like go and buy something if I wanted to. But like seeing something for like 50p, like a chocolate bar or something, not being able to buy it because I haven't got universal credit yet, like that's not the nicest feeling. But tried to focus on the good parts of it, like the fact I never went hungry or anything like that. You know, I was always looked after, and I know a lot of people don't have that, so I'm quite grateful actually.
Did you grow up with money in your family?
Kind of went up and down as far as I remember it. Like, I talk to people about holidays and stuff like that, and it seems like maybe people didn't go on as many holidays as I did. I feel like I've been on a fair few. But then I remember at some points my mum saying that, like, sorry mum if you're listening, it might be a bit personal, but like we might have to foster a kid at some point for money, you know, to help bring in some money, because I know the government will pay for that, and like. But then I don't know if we ever really struggled, or maybe my mum just kind of like didn't tell us too much about it because I was quite young, you know. So I don't know. Yeah, I think it went up and down, and there was times where my mum had said, "Oh, we can't afford that," but then I remember times going on holiday. So yeah, sorry, that's a really hard to answer question because I have like almost no memory of the finances at all. Yeah,
it's a very difficult question.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't answer that question for myself either.
Oh, why do you ask me then? Give me the hard ones, man.
It's interesting to see your thoughts. What passions do you still have from your younger years?
Oh man, music. That's never left me ever. I'm one of those people that will get a hobby for like a week and then drop it, but. Yeah, music is the only thing that's ever stayed. I think listening, playing, writing, whatever it is, I don't care. I just absolutely love it, adore it, and it's made me become more spiritual actually in a way, which is a big part of who I am now. So I got that to thank for it. You know?
Why music? What does it do?
Oh God, it just makes you feel things that you wouldn't otherwise. Like I've cried at songs, I've been angry at songs, like. I've been absolutely over the moon, and you know, you have those songs that you hear that you haven't heard in like 15, 20 years or something, and it instantly takes you back to that moment. You know, I think it's in our souls. You know, babies, like babies, as soon as they can bloody move at all, if you put on music they like, they'll dance. You know, no one ever teaches a baby to dance. They don't even know how to stop shitting themselves. You know, so. I think it's just in us, and I think everyone must feel it or like it to some degree, you know.
When did you start kind of pursuing or doing music, for lack of a better term?
As in like an instrument?
Or even kind of enjoying it or thinking, oh, this is something I enjoy.
Enjoying it would have come from my granddad, so that would have been from, well, my nan, my granddad and my mum. Like the Beatles, Elvis, ABBA, that kind of stuff, from birth, you know. So my granddad was actually in a band for a long time. Yeah, so I think I've probably got it in my blood. He's quite a good singer, very good singer, was. Got a few old tracks, like recordings from him from like the 70s, and like singing Unchained Melody, like notoriously hard song to sing, but he does it really, really well. So it's quite nice. Sorry, what was the question? Sorry.
When did you first start playing instruments?
When did I first start playing an instrument?
Yeah.
Oh, you changed the question on me, okay. I think I picked up a guitar when I was 15, so a decade ago, around about.
You've never made yourself sound older.
Don't, I'm really feeling that at the moment. My mum said something to me about my first girlfriend having a 6-year-old son the other day, and honestly I could have cried. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I'm still so young. Oh man, that made me feel really old. Yeah, so I've been playing music, like guitar, for about a decade. The Man Who Sold the World, but the Nirvana unplugged version was the reason that I picked up a guitar. Definitely that da 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 thing. My mum can hear that. She'll hear that for years and years and years, even after I stopped playing it.
Ingrained.
It's ingrained now. I've played that little riff thousands and thousands of times probably. And then Dark Necessities by Red Hot Chili Peppers made me pick up the bass guitar because it's just so funky. Yeah, God, I love music so much.
Do you want to pursue that further?
I've thought about it a lot. A hell of a lot. I've tried a few times. Never to do it for money. Honestly, I've never been interested in making money. I've always had those dreams of like playing on a massive stage, loads of people, whatever, but I think that's just fantasy. I don't think I'd actually want to do it. I think I'd shit myself. I wouldn't want to do it for money. I think it'd lose something. You know? My other passion was sports massage, and I really, really love that. When I first started, when I was training, I was so passionate about it. I wanted to learn everything there was to know about human body and how to heal and all that. And I started doing it for money for a while, and I just kind of like thought, no, now I have to work. And it's like, oh, I don't really like it anymore. I still do it, and I still help out some of my friends sometimes. Like, actually, Andy, who you had on the last episode, I've been treating his knee a little bit on the side just to make sure he's okay. Yeah, that's my other passion. But for doing it for money, made it lose something. And I'm quite scared of doing that with music. Because like I said, it's the only thing that's ever stuck, ever, my whole life. And if I get sick of it, I don't know what will happen, you know. I mean, if someone walked up to me now and was like, do you want to be in my band? And I'll pay you for it. I mean, it'd probably be a different answer. I'd probably jump at it. But in the world I'm living in now, realistically, yeah.
What else are you scared of?
Spiders. Is that the answer you wanted? Spiders, I live in fear of spiders constantly. I need like hypnotherapy or something like that. Because honestly, like, awful, horrific. But I have a feeling that probably wasn't quite the answer you're looking for.
Arachnophobia is pretty serious.
Oh God, it is serious. It is serious.
I guess maybe not in terms of physical things, but,
alright, fair enough.
but more like theoretically. So you mentioned about being scared of losing your passion for music.
Yeah. And you know what? I will say this, and I don't mind saying it, but when me and you have spent hours digging away in a garden, you get to talking, you know, and me and you have spoken about some pretty deep things, and you've asked me a similar question before, and I'll have to give you a similar answer. I'm really scared of being unhappy. I've been unhappy before. I've been really, really unhappy. Like, yeah, I don't want that. I will do anything in this world to not do that, you know. I understand emotions happen, and you will have bad days and like even bad months, you know, but I do not want to be an unhappy person. I don't want to live an unhappy life. That is the scariest thing I could think of, other than spiders, honestly.
And what is unhappy to you?
Not wanting to get out of bed, not wanting to do anything, like bed rotting. I've done a fair bit of that, but then even when you go outside and you have nothing to do, having no purpose is kind of being unhappy, I think, you know. It's kind of sad, but for pretty much everyone, purpose is a job, you know. I'm quite lucky in the fact that my purpose is my job, but I love my job. So I'm quite scared of what jobs I would do, because I don't want my purpose to be unhappy. You know what I mean? And I'd rather have no purpose than have an unhappy purpose.
Yeah, I get that.
Kind of complicated, to be honest.
What are your core values?
Be kind. Just like that. That's a big one. Be kind. It's free. Like, it doesn't cost anything. Like, you can be unhappy and you can be pissed off with someone, but you can still be kind. Like, my girlfriend's going to listen to this, but she upset me a little while ago, and I was upset. I know I upset her as well. It's just what happens, you know. But I was upset, and I went to the shop and I was getting myself some crisps because I love crisps, and I thought she'll want snacks too, so I bought some Maltesers. And it's not a massive thing, but like, I was pretty pissed off at her, man. But also, I didn't want her to go without, and I think that's like, it just shows a little bit of kindness. And then when we both calmed down, which was the inevitable thing, that little bit of kindness was there, and I felt so much better for doing it, because now she had a nice little snack, and it's nice. But like, just be kind in general, you know. It doesn't cost anything. And I think people miss out on that quite a lot. There's not enough kindness in the world, I don't think. And I think everyone, if they just tried to do one kind thing a day, like, things would be a lot better. Other core values. Man, it's so hard to not say ones that aren't just be kind, because I feel like it really encompasses loads.
All right. Where did that come from then? To be kind. Where did you get that?
One of my pet peeves and one of my, like, I don't get pissed off that easy anymore, but things that really get me annoyed is people that are just unkind for no reason. You know, and it really gets to me. Like, I don't know what it is, but like, you witnessed it. We had someone be a bit unkind to us at work, and I just completely shut down and just had to stare straight ahead onto the beautiful view, or like things might have got differently, because I just really don't like it. And I think because of that, I just try to be kind, because I don't want people to perceive me as that. I don't want people to feel that. What, you know, it's an awful feeling, and especially if it's undeserved. You know. And I would say another, I don't know if it counts as a core value or not, but I think it's something that is extremely important, is being a good communicator. The value of communication is so high. It's the foundation for so many things, pretty much everything. No one could do anything unless they communicated in some way about it. You know, words are so powerful, like I said before, and being able to communicate what you want, who you are, what you want to do. You can do whatever you want. You can get whatever you want if you're good about it. If you go about it the right way, you know.
Do you feel like the past 24 months has been, or that in the past 24 months there has been quite a development in your communication? It seems like you've been on a little bit of a journey there. Yeah, definitely.
Actually, I have my girlfriend to thank for that. I was already like. I mean, I'm a poet, man. I pride myself like on my ability to put words together and take them apart and all that. But being able to use them in a way that isn't rhyming was a bit more difficult. And I have my girlfriend to really thank for that. She's so smart, she's so intelligent, and in my previous relationships, it's shouting matches, which is not fun, which is not good. It's not good for communication. And to talk through a problem or anything, mate, what do you want for dinner? I would like this, and this is how I'd like it, is much better than, I don't know, which is a bit stressful sometimes, you know. Like, and she's taught me a lot about that, and that's a big lesson I've taken away from her, is to just communicate through anything, and you'll be all right. And actually, it prevents pretty much every problem if you just communicate. You know, and it bloody well works, because I'm so happy. It's the best relationship I've ever been in, I'm ever going to be in. You know, like, the last one I'll ever be in, definitely, because of the communication. You know, it's so important. So important.
You've spoken quite a lot about your past there.
Yeah.
What does the next 12 months look like for you?
I want to level up. 2025 is the year of Sam, definitely. I've gotten so much better as a person anyway. I want to carry that on, you know, like, I go through phases of being physically active and not. I go through slumps, and right now, I'm maybe not the fittest I've ever been, but I'm definitely close to it. And I just want to get fitter, I just want to get stronger, I want to be faster, I want to have more endurance, I want to be smarter, I want to learn so many things. My job, I want to drink everything in, every bit of information, every blade of grass. If that blade of grass is slightly different to that one, slightly different colour, I want to know why. You know, because knowledge is power, man. It really is. I want to level up massively and be a more capable person than I am, definitely. And also, I want to be a bit kinder to myself as well. Because if I put too much pressure on myself, then I feel like I probably won't do any of those things. So, yeah.
That's an interesting question. How do you deal with pressure?
If it's from myself, not very well. If it's from people I don't respect, not very well. If it's from people I do respect, then bring it on, man. Like, I'll show you what I'm made of. You know what I mean? And I if I'm passionate about it, I will get it done, no matter if I'm freaking out or not. I feel like I freak out to minor things, but when there's actually something serious going on, I'm like, yeah, you know I do. Yeah, oh God, you know I do. But if there's actually something serious going on, I'll handle my shit, you know? Yeah. So, yeah.
Earlier, right at the start of the conversation, you said you don't like the system.
Yeah.
Why do you not like the system? And when I say the system, do you mean kind of the kind of like a standard employment kind of job, or
I think most of the world in general, to be honest, I think most of it is just revolved around money and greed and power, and I think that's just blinded everything. And we're not looking at the things that are actually important, because it's all a game of whose dick's the biggest, whose skyscraper touches the sky the most, whose rockets blow up the most. You know, like I don't give a flying fuck about it at all. I really don't care. I think it's I just don't get it. When you're digging a hole in the ground and you're listening to the bird song, right? None of that shit matters at all. You know, all that stuff is so stressful. I don't want to live in a city because it's too much there. Even Hastings is a bit like bloody fast sometimes.
It's getting there.
You know, it kind of is. It's getting quite gentrified, and it's like sometimes a bit too much for me. Yeah.
So those things aren't important. How much a skyscraper touches the sky or how many rockets blow up?
No,
what is important?
Wow, I don't know why I'm finding this so hard. What is important? That's the question, because I think it's really subjective. I think it's so personal to people what's important. I think that's kind of one of the beautiful things about who people are. But then it's also kind of a curse, because then you get the people whose dicks want to be the biggest, you know, in the same respect, because they think that's more important. But I get frustrated with it, but I think it's kind of how it's supposed to be.
What's important to you?
What's important to me? Treating people how they deserve to be treated, definitely. Like, and myself included, that's really important, you know, like. And that also goes for the dickheads as well. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to paint myself to be some really nice guy. Like, if someone's annoyed me and I think someone's in the wrong, I will tell them, and I'll tell them to fuck off. And that's important to me. I think owning who you are, and if someone annoys you or it makes you really, really happy, you should tell people exactly how important that is to you, you know, and then people will know exactly where they stand with you as well. I say that, and I'm really trying to follow it. It doesn't always come out, but I really am trying to follow it. I'm really mindful of it all the time. You know, I'm learning. I'm still trying.
So the year of Sam, what else does it entail except levelling up?
I want to move out of my place. I want to get a nicer place, because I don't really like it. I say a bit of a germaphobe. I'm a germaphobe toward people. And I live in a shared place, and like, I'm nothing against shared places. Some of them are very, very nice. I have seen some very nice shared places all around me. You know, like, mine's not that nice. People don't respect it, and I don't like that. And it kind of stresses me out quite a lot. So I want to move out and level up in that way. Definitely, that would be a nice one. Being able to go and cook dinner in my kitchen without freaking the fuck out about who's been leaving all their filth everywhere is like, that would be a good level up. That would make me so happy, honestly. And I want to earn more money. Definitely. I want to earn more money. Life is hard, you know, like, in terms of money, things are so expensive. I want to just not have to check my bank every time I pay for something, you know. I'm not saying I want to be really rich and have yachts and stuff like that. I would just like to be able to
have yachts.
Well, I mean, I'd love a yacht. I think it'd be awesome. But also, I'd really like to be able to just do the food shopping without having to, like, really worry about it, you know, or choose food over rent or whatever, you know.
How important is money to you at the moment?
It's very important, but I don't want it to be. You know, when you haven't got a lot of it, it's very important. When you have got a lot of it, it's very important, but in other ways it doesn't mean as much. But it funds your lifestyle. But when you haven't got a lot of it, it's very important, because if you don't have it, then you're fucked. You know, like, my job is extremely physical. If I get injured, actually, in December, I horrifically burnt my legs with a hot water bottle. Kids out there, please be careful with hot water bottles, please, because it was horrific. And I didn't make any money for like 2 or 3 weeks. And it was like, fuck, what am I going to do? It's only because I had some amazing people around me that's literally saved my ass that I'm not homeless now. Like, because of a 2-second accident that, like, it was horrific, but it was a 2-second accident. And if I didn't have people to save my ass, you know, then I'd be homeless. Fuck. Yeah. That's kind of painful to say, actually. Not as painful as the bloody hot water bottle, though. Oh my god.
Do you think it changes people, money?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I don't think it's always in a bad way, but yeah, it will change everything for everyone. Definitely. It changed my life massively. I think I'd be a much happier person. I think money can... How do I put this? I think it can exacerbate who you already are. If you're a bad person, you have loads of money, you're going to do bad things with it. If you're a good person, you got lots of money, hopefully you'll do good things with it, you know? If I had loads of money, not going to lie, I would sort myself out first, definitely. Because it's, you know, it's if I earned it and I've done it, then I would like to do that. But as soon as I have anything left over that I don't actually need or, you know, want, then I'll give it away and help other people that need it, you know?
Do you have any savings or kind of emergency money?
Mate, I got 30 quid. 30 quid and 20 of that went in yesterday. Saturday. Yeah. Yeah, 20 of that went in yesterday. So yeah, that's fun.
I'm going to ask a question that isn't on my sheet.
Go on.
I'm in a very fortunate position.
Yeah.
But that, to me, that sounds incredibly difficult. How do you do that?
Well, the reality is that money won't stay in savings. It probably won't. Well, hopefully I don't have another winter like I did and it'll be okay, but like, there'll probably be a time when I have to use it, because it's only 30 quid and that literally will get you nothing. Doesn't even get you half a food shop anymore. So if I have a few days off work or whatever happens, you know, then that'll go, you know, and it is really difficult. When you live, like paycheck to paycheck, you know, you can't save, you know, so.
Sorry, that's really... I don't know, it's quite a big thing to hear it from someone I care so much about.
Oh, thank you.
Like,
I appreciate it.
How much do you think you need to be happy? In the sense of, if you think money buys happiness.
If I had to put a number on it, oh my god, a monetary value for happiness, that's a crazy question. Realistically, to make me actually happy, like, mate, £2,000 a month would be sweet as. You know, like, after tax, £2,000 a month, like, yeah, man, I'll be able to save, I'll be able to do things, that would be nice. You know, if we're talking really happy, you know...
A yacht.
A lot more than that, you know, much more than that. But yeah, mate, I would actually be happy, like, really happy. I think I'd won the lottery, mate, if I was getting £2,000 a month. Definitely.
What's something you wish you'd learnt sooner about money?
Don't piss it up the wall.
And when did you learn that? This morning.
Right now.
Yeah.
Nah, it's always something that you know and people tell you, but you never get taught how to actually do it, you know. So it's, yeah. So I don't even know. I don't even know what I spend my money on. This is the thing. I don't actually go out and do anything. But to me, pissing up money up the wall is, like I mentioned earlier, I really like crisps. So I might buy a couple of packets of crisps a night or something. Like,
are you going on the midnight shop, are you?
Mate, my shop closes at 9. It's so bad. I can't even get any late snacks. It's crazy. But yeah, so I think I'm pissing the money up the wall if I go and buy all my crisps. I literally thought about it before I came here. I wonder how much money I've spent the last month going to the corner shop to buy a couple of snacks every night, you know. And actually, I think for most people, that's not an unlikely thing to happen. When I've been working on other jobs where I've had a lot more money, that, by the way, made me extremely unhappy, I used to do the same thing and I didn't even think about it. But, I'm just going to the shop, be back in a minute, and didn't even think about it. Yeah, perspective.
Do you think... So you seem... excuse me, you seem quite happy in the sense of your job at the moment. Maybe the monetary aspect is less good at the moment. Do you
Health
think...
over wealth every time. Sorry to interrupt you.
That's all right. Yeah, you said health over wealth, so you'd be more willing to take a job that potentially paid less and you'd be happy in that job than a job that paid, say, after tax £2,000 a month.
Yeah,
but you weren't happy.
Yeah, I've worked jobs that, I mean, they weren't quite £2,000 a month after tax, but they weren't far off, and I've worked those jobs, and it's like some of the unhappiest I've ever been. And now I'm digging holes in the ground and laying patios and putting up fences for minimum wage. I'm like, obviously I wish I had more money, but I'm actually happiest as a person. I'm the happiest I've ever been, you know. So I don't think money plays too much of a part in it. I think it's more circumstance, but it does make it easier.
You said about pissing money up the wall.
Yeah.
What's your worst financial decision?
My worst financial decision.
So I'll give you kind of like I'll give you a free pass. Mine
Okay.
is I bought an iPad and then about 2 years later sold it because I hadn't used it for a year and a half.
Wow. All right. How much it cost you? How many squids?
A little bit over £1,000.
Oh, buddy. Wow. Okay. Yeah. You. I think the technical term is you did piss that out the wall. Definitely.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh God. My biggest monetary mistake. Hey, that rhymes. No, it doesn't. It's alliteration. Shit. It's really hard to think. Actually, I don't know why I've drawn a blank on it. Give me a second. I'm sure there is something that I've done.
Take the time. I'll have a drink of water.
I brought a Nintendo Switch. Now, I don't know if this was a mistake, but I think I just went too far with it because I did get a lot of use out of it, but I didn't need that one. So I got a Nintendo Switch a few years ago, and the side by side had the normal one with the red and blue controller, whatever, the original one, and then next to that was the Mario Kart version. It was all red, even the bit that goes onto the TV, even the docking station thing, whatever. Like, and it was all red, but it was like £200 more. I was like, I can't not. It's all red. It's my second favourite colour. I have to. Mate, I haven't used that.
It sold itself.
It did. It sold itself, mate, and it came with Mario Kart 8 as well. So that was the cherry on top there. But Mario Kart 8 was only like £30 at the time, so I paid £170 for the colour red. Oh God, I paid £170 for the colour red. No, that's bad. I haven't played it in years. I haven't even looked at it in years. So yeah, that probably wasn't the best one to do, actually.
Okay. So, kind of going on the theme of your biggest monetary, your worst monetary decision. What's the thing you're most critical of about yourself?
Hard question to answer because I'm really trying to love myself as much as I can.
That's why I asked.
Yeah, God, the most critical thing. I feel like I just always struggle with mental health, and on the days where I like can't get out of bed or something like that, which I do happen, you know, it's not that often anymore, thank God. There's been like one recently, but like I really beat myself up about it, and I was really critical about it. But actually, like I needed that day, you know, otherwise something like I could have had a proper meltdown or whatever, you know. And I think that's like I'm quite critical about that. I just need to be a bit kind to myself and realise that I'm actually a human, and I can't work at 100% all the time. You know, I do try. I really try. I wanna be good to people. You know, like help everyone. But yeah, you can't do it all the time.
I really, really can see throughout this, or kind of hear throughout this conversation, that your sense of, like we were chatting about your core values. One of them being kind, and just like how fundamentally important that is to you.
Yeah. It is.
Did you get that from your mum, or like? Or some of your family, or?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My family are very kind people. They are. I picked up family stuff from them as well. You know, but they are very kind people. I definitely picked that up. But I gotta say though, the thing that actually made me like the best version of myself is psychedelics, man. It really is. Like being able to have a whole perspective shift. Being forced into a new perspective is one of the most overwhelming things that's ever happened to me, but also the best thing that's ever happened to me. Well, one of them. You know, I'm now a completely different person and a better person. So those core values that I have now, I didn't have before. I didn't really care. I felt like I wasn't really too much alive. I felt like an NPC a little bit. Honestly, the comparison for before and afterwards, like, it's night and day, man. And like, I don't know how much I should say, but I'm fucking well experienced now. Oh my god, the more I think about it. But the difference is night and day. It really, really is. I hold my core values and I hold them very, very strong, and I won't break on it. I won't waver from it at all. I won't.
Yeah.
And it's mostly because of psychedelics, actually. So.
When did you first do psychedelics? And when you say psychedelics, can you, for me, because I don't actually fully understand it,
acid.
What do you? Okay. All right.
LSD. Yeah, that was a few years ago. I can't even really remember the year, mate. Just after I broke up with one of my girlfriends that was very not nice to me, I got the opportunity to try it, and it was like, holy shit, is this how you're supposed to live life now? Okay, this is the way it is. Mate, I remember that day so vividly. I saved a bumblebee. That was quite nice. It was just on the side of the road, and I picked it up, put it on a little flower, and that's a really vivid memory. And I remember looking at my friend's shed, and it was green, and I was like, why have you got a red shed? And she's like, no, it's not green, but it used to be red before I painted it. And I was like, wow, that just blew my mind. But actually, I think I was just talking shit, and I got lucky. And then my mate picked me up in his little Mini, and I was like, I'm having the best day ever. And I just remember him absolutely laughing at me so much, because he was sober, he was driving, he's a good boy. But he spent a few hours with us, and he was just spent the whole time laughing at me, I think. It was a very good day, actually. Rebirth, almost, you know.
Earlier in the conversation, you were kind of speaking about your current girlfriend and how thankful you are for having her in your life and having met her. Can you give me another person that's had a really big influence on you? Because I feel like your current girlfriend clearly has.
Oh man, there's a few people. I've surrounded myself with great people now. The main one, who's always been my main person, is actually the person you had on last, Andy. Like, he is just my brother, my soulmate, whatever it is, as close as you can be to a human. That's what we got. Like, we don't even have to talk, and we just know what's going on. You know, one of those friendships. We've been to friends for like not long off of a decade. In a couple of years time, I would have been friends with him for 10 years, and we just get closer every time we see each other. And it's like, he's such a good person. He's really got his head screwed on. If there's ever any sort of emergency ever, I'm literally like, drop everything, go find Andy, because he's definitely the one that's going to sort it out. And like, me and him together as a team, mate, good luck to everyone else.
Unstoppable.
Like, we're literally unstoppable, man. Literally unstoppable. All we do is talk shit, and have Nerf wars. He's 30, man, and I'm 25, and we have Nerf wars. We literally had one yesterday. I love it so much. Like, yeah, he's the best person I've ever had, bar none. Yeah, definitely. But then there's been loads of people like recently, like, weirdly enough, you've had them all on this bloody podcast. Steve and Pete as well. Steve and Pete. I'll leave Steve till last. Pete has changed my life in quite a lot of ways. He has opened up my spirituality door. I swear, mate, I say to him, every time I see you, it's like, it's not even midday yet, and you've blown my mind about 4 times. You've just like changed my life. I don't know how he does it every single time.
It's not even midday.
It's not even midday, man. We're digging holes in the ground. Stop doing this to me, Peter. Mate, he's changed my life. Yeah, so much positivity. He's taught me how to kind of shape my life in the way that I want it. Actually, in a lot of ways. And the crazy thing is, like, I haven't even really met up with him that many times. Like, realistically, me and you have met up quite a few more times than me and Pete. And like, I love you, man, but you haven't changed my life.
That's
like,
fair.
You know, Pete is just a blooming bloody hell, anomaly. He's an anomaly, mate. He is. Steve as well, my boss. Man, he's fucking awesome. He's just a proper nice person, and like, he understands that I'm a human, which is like, why can't everyone else like be like that? Why can't everyone in the world just understand that people are humans? If you got something going on, he's like, yeah, man, no drama, things happen, whatever, it doesn't matter, and that's it. And it kind of swings and roundabouts, you know, like sometimes things happen with Steve, sometimes things happen with me, and we're just like, yeah, man, no worries, all good. How can I help? Whatever, like. It's one of the reasons I love my job so much. And like that job, mate, and now Steve saved my life, mate. Honestly, like not having a purpose, like it wasn't going to last much longer. And then I got that job, and like bloody hell, mate, literally saved my life. Crazy.
How did you get that job?
Through Andy.
Ah.
Yeah, through Andy recommended me because you all know each other. I'm actually late to the party, or actually, I've known Andy for ages, but he just kept me secret from you. Now I think about it, actually, a little bastard.
You're getting shot in the face. Yeah.
Mate, I shot him in the eye the other day. He was wearing sunglasses and I shot him in the eye still. I was so happy with it. Don't tell him that it was on purpose. He's going to hate me. Yeah, it was recommended through Andy. And actually, it's a really funny story because I've got two Steves in my phone and they're both drummers. And I thought it was the other Steve, and the last conversation I'd had with this Steve, I'm not going to say anything about him because it's like kind of personal, but like someone had died in his family and his daughter wasn't very happy, or his daughter was going through a divorce or something like that, and I thought it was this Steve, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to say, look, last time we spoke, I know you were going through some shit, if you need to talk, I'm here. And Steve was like, no, he didn't say anything. And I sent the messages to Andy. He's like, oh, is this all right? And he was like, mate, why did you say that? I was like, no, it's the wrong Steve, no. And Steve had the real Steve, the proper Steve, had no clue what I was on about. And he actually told me quite a few months later, he's like, I just assumed I'd told you and that I was in the wrong. I was like, no, Steve, bless you. Like, I was just being a twat. I was trying to butter you up and it really didn't work. Oh God, yeah, that's really bad. Really bad. Don't say that to people when you don't know exactly who it is. Yeah, it's not good advice.
You mentioned Pete and spirituality there, and that he blows your world kind of before midday.
Yeah, no, crazy.
What kind of new spirituality kind of things have you discovered since knowing Pete?
Biggest one is manifestation. At the risk of sounding like a crazy person, I think it is true to an extent.
We're all crazy.
Mate, me and you have a very good example of it, actually. It does paint you to be a bit silly, but I'm going to say it anyway. So we're working in a garden, obviously, because that's where we work. And I come from out the front, around the side passage, and I see you just staring at a tree in the back garden, just staring at a tree. I'm like, hey, you're right. I was like, hey, there's an albino parrot in that tree. And I was like, no, there's not. What are you on about? Where? And we were both looking for this bloody parrot. And obviously I knew there wasn't an albino parrot in this tree, obviously. But I was still looking anyway, and it turned out to be a wood pigeon. And if anyone knows what a wood pigeon is, it's basically just a giant pigeon. It looks nothing like an albino parrot, but I let you off because you're not a bird guy, whereas I am, so it's fine. But literally, like, what, a couple of hours later, I went home, and I didn't have to go the way I went home. I wanted to go through the park because it was a nice day. And there was a bloody white parrot on the bloody bench, mate. A guy just, for want of a better word, flew his parrot, taking it for a fly, right, I guess. And it was just on a bench, sitting there. And its name was Henry. It's actually quite funny because he was telling me all about where they come from. They come from Indonesia and all that, and telling me about their environment. And he was like, but this one's from Luton? And I was like, oh, okay. But the point is, mate, we spoke about it, and then it happened. And a really similar thing happened as well, like with birds and feathers, magpie feathers. I found like 5 magpie feathers within the space of a week without ever finding them before, all in the weirdest places. I've never seen a magpie feather land on the floor ever in my life, and I'm literally obsessed with birds, so I look around for them. If I saw a magpie feather on the floor, I would know about it. And I'd never seen them up until then, and I found 5 within about a week, and the last one was so weird, digging a hole in the ground. And I flipped the bit of clay from out of the ground, and it landed top side up, and the feather was in the clay. It was like, but perfectly preserved and right on the top. So that meant that I must have put the shovel in at the exact millimetre height to then flip that feather out, because it's a feather, it'd get damaged, whatever. But I just have no idea. Again, the 5th magpie feather that I'd found within a week was doing like a foot underground in the soil, perfectly preserved, like perfectly, like it wasn't damaged in any way. Really, really strange. And like, I feel like I manifest things from my girlfriend quite a lot. Like, I'll think I need something, and she'll be like, oh, the other day this happened and I got this for it. Like, mate, the place I'm living in now, she got me that within 24 hours of me even thinking about it. It was ridiculous, honestly. And like, again, at the risk of sounding like a crazy person, at first I kind of blew it off, but when it happens pretty much every day or almost every day, like, I don't know if it's coincidence anymore. When you think about something, I needed sewing needles to sew something up, and I find a broken packet of sewing needles randomly on the floor, like, the same day that I'm talking about it.
Wow.
It's just weird. It happens every day, pretty much.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, believing in manifestation and that kind of spirituality side of things,
Mm-hmm.
do you think that evil is, as like a term, or kind of like bad people are actually kind of out to do bad, or do you think
I think
they're misguided in some way?
Oh, that little bit on the end really changed what my answer is going to be. I'm glad I didn't interrupt too much there. Everyone wants to think they're right. Everyone thinks they're right until they get proven wrong, and a lot of people can't actually admit when they're wrong. And when you put people in positions of power that have that trait, then it's a nightmare, you know. And I know this might not be exactly what you're looking for. Middle managers, mate, they're the worst people.
When you say middle managers, can you give me an example?
My old manager at Co-op that used to like run the...
Subtle.
Mate, his name's Mark.
Oh, God.
Oh, I hate him. He was a bully. He was an actual, like, real life bully. An actual bully. And he's like in his 50s. He's an old man, mate. Shouldn't be bullying people. Anyway, he's a bad person. He got a little bit of power. He had bad core values, and he put that out there. Yeah, and it affected a lot of people. He got like... That's just an example that was for me. But like, when people that get really powerful and they're bad people, like, mate, Hitler, you know, he thought he was right. You know, Hitler probably, he might have thought he was a bad person, but he actually thought he was right. You know, and obviously completely wrong. Obviously, it goes without saying, but he did think he was right. And I think that's kind of scary, and also kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. I think that's what part of makes us human. You know, and that's why we have so many wars and stuff like that, because we're never going to agree on anything. What was the question again?
Do you believe in evil?
Do I believe in evil? Yes, I do. Yeah, and I don't think I went off topic there. I do believe in evil.
No, it was very well on topic.
Sorry, I'm opened up a bit, and now I'm rambling a little bit. Fuck yeah, I believe in evil.
Fair enough. You mentioned about communication earlier. How do you think people learn to communicate better, or more efficiently, or effectively?
They have to want to.
Want to learn? Yeah,
they have to want to. That's first and foremost. If you don't want to do it, you're not going. People always just do what they want. You know, most of the time. At the end of the day, people just do what they want. So you have to want to, and also I think you have to have the capacity and the self-awareness to be able to do that as well. You know, being able to communicate is also being able to admit when you're wrong, and also analyse yourself. And if I have a disagreement with you, and you communicate it in a good enough way that I don't think you're being mean just for the sake of it, I think you have good points, it's up to me to be good enough at communicating to take that on board and make adjustments, you know. So, yeah.
What would you say that, if you had to give someone like one point that they could really latch onto about communication, what would you say the most important thing for them to do, or to learn, or to kind of take on board moving forward would be?
Wow, that's a hard one. I think it's you have to be more self-aware first before you can do anything. Because I think actually you can't be a good communicator towards someone else if you can't do it towards yourself first. You know, if you can't know what's going on in your head, how can you get it out, and how can you work out what someone's trying to say in your head if you don't know what's going on? You know, so you have to be able to communicate with yourself first, I think, and be self-aware in order to be able to do that, yeah.
Do you think, I mean, you might have mentioned it slightly earlier, but do you think when you started taking psychedelics, because you kind of connected with yourself a bit more, do you think that really helped in your ability to...
Yeah, it depends what psychedelic you're talking about.
Oh.
They kind of do different things, to be honest.
Okay.
Acid is kind of like a inward thing, I think. You know,
okay.
It's for your... Ooh, it's probably for your mind, I guess. Shrooms are like for your outer body and your very inner soul. And then DMT is like, you don't.
Next level.
Yeah, man. Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, we won't touch on that too much. But what was the question again? Yeah. Sorry, that mentioned that really threw me off. Sorry, I won't ask that again.
Don't worry, it's fine.
I'm really bad at podcasts.
No, you're not. I wanted to chat for you for a while, and I think that you're genuinely, you're a really interesting guy, a really honest guy, and
I appreciate it.
you have lots of knowledge that I think is really important for people to hear and to know about.
Wow, thank you. That's taken me aback a bit, actually. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you. I want to close on quite a simple question.
Okay.
Having got to this point in your life, has your view on happiness changed?
Yeah. The times I thought I was happy, I wasn't. The times that I thought I was happy, I was just putting up with things. Wow. And now that I am actually happy, I mean, I'm self-aware enough to know that if I thought I'm happy before and I wasn't, then it could be this now. But I don't, I don't think it is. I think I'm genuinely happy, and I think there's a massive difference. And I just feel so good now. I'm just excited about life and what's going to happen. Like I said, I want to level up. I feel like maybe I'm on the border of getting a little bit stale with things, so I need to push a little bit. Summer's helping with that. Coming through, summer is helping. So, yeah, it's important to be happy, definitely. And I feel very fucking happy now. So
that's normally the last question I ask: is "Are you happy?" But you've already answered that.
Okay. I feel like I kind of skipped that second to last question, read your mind, and went straight to the last one. I'll take it. Yeah, I'm very happy. And I'll actually end it on what you say to me every single morning when I work with you and I ask how you are. And you say, I'm amazingly ecstatic, or ecstatically amazing, or something along those lines. There's always something really, really good. And you know what, mate? I'll leave it with this, that it always puts me in a good mood. And I always know it's going to be a good day when you say that. So, yeah.
I'm so glad. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on, Sam. I really appreciate it.
Right, thank you.